Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Wednesday, June 3rd, 2020. Today I'm going to talk about the breaking news coming from ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski about the NBA's plan to return, the KBO, look back on this morning's games, look ahead to tomorrow's games, my latest MLB mock draft, and I'm going to go over how I'm going to do my Bracket of Pain regional podcasts with the guests and preview a little bit the matchups that each guest of mine will get to analyze. Okay, we'll start with the NBA. Huge news today. In the words of Adrian Wojnarowski, the NBA is back. So that is excellent news. 22 teams are going to partake in the NBA's return to Orlando. And that was the rumor over the past couple of days. And it came into fruition a couple hours ago. So the tweet for Woj, here we go. So the NBA is inviting 22 teams to Orlando. 13 Western Conference teams, 9 Eastern Conference, 8 regular season games per team. So they're basically tune-up games before the postseason. Play-in for the 8 seeds. July 31st, October 12th. Vote tomorrow to ratify. The NBA is back. And then Woj follows it up by, while players and coaches will be allowed to golf and eat at outdoor restaurants in Disney, they will also be required to maintain social distancing. So, the teams that are joining the 16 current playoff teams in Orlando are the New Orleans Pelicans, Zion, Portland Trail Blazers, you have Lillard there, the Phoenix Suns, who I said on Derek's show last night, Hard Hits, that they're the Montreal, the team that's just lucky to be there. Sacramento, I guess, is the other Montreal, or the Blackhawks per se, 2 teams that really don't belong in the NHL playoffs but are. But yeah, neither of those teams I don't think deserve it. I mean, you could argue Sacramento because they've improved and whatnot, but Phoenix, come on. And San Antonio is the other Western Conference team, obviously Greg Popovich. They overachieved a little bit to start the year, and then they fell off. And then Washington in the East, who was really playing well before the stop of the season. So at least they got a shot at this. And then if the 9th seed is more than 4 games behind the 8th seed, number 8 makes the playoffs. Fewer than 4 games, a play-in tournament. And the play-in format requires a double elimination format for the 8th seed, a single elimination for the 9th seed per sources. So there you have it. They're going to vote on this tomorrow, and it's all likely going to be approved. And now the pressure's on Major League Baseball to finally figure something out. Although there's been a little more optimism. Andy Martino of SNY tweeted out a little while ago, while outstanding issues remain, an agreement on health and safety issues is expected, not nearly as contentious as pay. And then Andy says, in order for the season to begin with no agreement on pay, there would need to be an agreement on health and safety, and this would be a major reason why the aspect will happen. And then that was his response to Ken Rosenthal tweeting that the MLB rejecting the union's proposal for 114 games and said it would not send a counter. And the league said it has started to talk to players with owners about playing a shorter season without fans, and that is ready to discuss additional ideas with the union. And Andy follows it up by saying that they want to keep the terms of the March 26th agreement in order to preserve their right to create and begin play on the schedule. And I think that's the right thing to do, what Andy alluded to 51 minutes ago here on Twitter. They should go back to that one, play 82 games, and then keep the expanded playoffs. I like that idea a lot because it brings more parity and possible upsets, and it gives teams more of a chance because the National League is pretty deep. If they had a normal season, 5 teams in the postseason, there's going to be a couple good teams in the National League that were going to miss the postseason. The same could be said about the American League, too. The American League got better as well, and some of those teams that have improved would have missed out on some fun as well if COVID never happened and it just went to the normal season. So, little update on NBA and MLB right there. Now I want to go over the KBO scores from this morning and look ahead to tomorrow's games. Very interesting results from last night, or this morning to say the least. Kaiwum over Hanwha 6-2, Samsung over LG 12-6, Kia over Lotte 11-2, NC over SK 8-6, and KT over Doosan 7-2. Pretty much the same matchups for tomorrow, Kaiwum and Hanwha. This is a tough call for me here. Hanwha's just been really bad, but they're due, you would think, to go on some sort of a better run. But I gotta go with Kaiwum here. Doosan and KT, I'm gonna go with Doosan. They're playing respectable right now. I can't go against the Dinos, especially against SK. Although SK's been playing better of late. Lotte and Kia, I think this is the spot where Lotte bounces back. That was a bad loss this morning. And then Samsung and LG, I'm going to go on a limb here and say that LG, who's been playing really, really well, will bounce back and get a win here against Samsung. So, should be a fun morning of games. Now I want to do my latest MLB mock draft. This is my 3rd edition of it. I'm going to do another one on Friday because the draft is in a week from today. So, in terms of how I'm going to do the drafts, the mocks, I'm going to do my 3rd one today, my 4th one on Friday, and then I'm going to do one on Monday, on Tuesday, and on Wednesday. And then I'm going to do before Wednesday, do podcasts talking about what, go over everybody's farm systems and what teams should do for the draft and what kind of players they should target and just give an overall update on the team system and who's the untouchable prospect as of right now, who's most likely to be traded, and all that crap that I did both last year and the year before. So without further ado, here's my 3rd edition of my MLB mock draft. Number 1, Detroit Tigers, Spencer Torkelson, first baseman, left fielder, Arizona State. It seems like Torkelson is the overwhelming favorite to go first overall. Torkelson was one of the most feared hitters in all of college baseball throughout the last 3 seasons, and there's a chance he blows through the minors and is in the big sooner than people expect. 2, Baltimore Orioles, Austin Martin, third baseman, center fielder, Vanderbilt. The Orioles have a tough call here as they can go with Martin or the best pitcher in the draft with Asa Lacy. They go with Martin, who dazzles with a hit tool that is easily a plus, utilizing a swing with natural loft and double plus bat speed. 3, Miami Marlins, Asa Lacy, lefty, Texas A&M. The Marlins are happy with whomever falls to them, whether it's Lacy or Austin Martin. Lacy is someone that is equipped with a 4-pitch mix, 2 of which already grade at a plus or better fastball and slider, with another in the changeup seemingly on its way. 4, Kansas City Royals, Zach Veen, outfielder, Spruce Creek High School in Florida. The Royals go with the fast-rising prep school prospect here with Veen. Many believe he is the best high school player in the draft, and his vision at the plate looks advanced well beyond his age and allows his violent swing to barrel up balls with ease, leading to the hit tool grading at average while projecting better at peak. 5, Toronto Blue Jays, Emerson Hancock, righty, Georgia. There's a case to be made that Hancock is actually the best pitcher in the draft, but he's probably the safest bet in terms of pure starting pitchers. Hancock presents the same 4-pitch mix as Asa Lacy, which is fastball, slider, curveball, and changeup, with less electricity but more command and polish. 6. Seattle Mariners. Reed Detmers, lefty, Louisville. This would be a great selection for the Mariners as they could use more young pitching in their farm system. The curveball is unspeakably good when it's on, and that is all the time. He pounds the strike zone great and is great at getting guys to swing and miss. 7. Pittsburgh Pirates. Nick Gonzalez, second baseman, New Mexico State. Gonzalez is one of the more interesting prospects as we head closer to the draft. Folks are skeptical of him due to putting up great numbers against lesser competition, something Gonzalez won't be able to stick at second base long term, but I see his makeup and work ethic being able to keep the elite hit tool he carries at the keystone. 8. San Diego Padres. Robert Hassel III, outfield, Independence High School, Tennessee. The Padres are in good shape in terms of their farm system, so they can conceivably go in any direction they'd like. Hassel is someone that's flying up draft boards due to his pure hitting ability and his bat control. 9. Colorado Rockies. Patrick Bailey, catcher, NC State. The Rockies can go in a number of directions here with their selection. Bailey is a defense-first catcher who's shown great athleticism and a switch hitter that's shown power on both sides with solid tools in front, and Bailey brings a special combination of the two. 10. Los Angeles Angels. Max Meyer, lefty, Minnesota. The Angels land a possible steal here with Meyer. A former closer who only started 15 games while at Minnesota presents certain reliever risk due to size and durability concerns, but the question marks are overshadowed by the explosive arsenal Meyer brings to the table. 11. Chicago White Sox. Heston Kjerstad, outfielder, Arkansas. The White Sox are a team that's a bit of an unknown in terms of what direction they likely will go, but here I have them taking a talented college outfielder, which Kjerstad. He is somebody that has a unique, complex left-handed swing that he brings to the table with double plus raw power, who many comp to Philadelphia's Rhys Hoskins. 12. Cincinnati Reds. Austin Hendrick, outfielder, West Allegheny High School, Pennsylvania. Hendrick is one of the fast-rising prospects as the draft is a week away. Hendricks is perhaps the best power-hitting prep player in the draft, although there are concerns due to a high number of strikeouts. 13. San Francisco Giants. Cade Cavalli, righty, Oklahoma. The Giants are an interesting team here at this selection. Cavalli was the ace of the Sooner staff, who people are mixed about. This could be a risky pick due to the flaws he has and injury issues. What makes him intriguing is his ability to strike guys out and his great fastball and a devastating slider. 14. Texas Rangers. Garrett Crochet, lefty, Tennessee. This would be a win for the Rangers as they land a very good college arm with this selection. Inconsistency and an early season injury is what will probably cost them from going higher than this, but with a plus slider and a developing changeup, the Tennessee product has some of the best raw stuff in the class. 15. Philadelphia Phillies. Nick Bitsko, righty, Central Bucks East High School, Pennsylvania. This pick would make sense for the Phillies, who could use some young arms in their system, and is a local kid as well. Bitsko is somebody that can drop out of the first round due to the lack of information due to the shortened season, but he is just as advanced as any prep arm in the pitch field department. 16. Chicago Cubs. Mike Abel, righty, Jesuit High School, Oregon. Another top prospect who was hurt by the shortened 2020 season is off the board here to the Cubs. The righty has a clean, fluid delivery that offers projection and the potential for him to have 3 above-average pitches. He has all the makings of being a top-of-the-rotation arm. 17. The Boston Red Sox. Garrett Mitchell, center fielder, UCLA. Mitchell is a prospect that is dropping in a lot of folks' mock drafts. He's a great athlete and generates a ton of power and speed, but there is risk due to his swing and miss concerns and due to his type 1 diabetes. 18. Arizona Diamondbacks. Pete Crow Armstrong, outfield, Harvard Westlake High School, California. The Diamondbacks go with an upside play here with Armstrong, who could go higher than this. The left-handed swinging center fielder has 5-tool potential and is a prototypical top-of-the-lineup hitter with defensive abilities to stick in center field. 19. New York Mets. Tanner Burns, righty, Auburn. The Mets go with the talented college arm here in Burns. He has 3 above-average pitches with his fastball, curveball, and changeup, and he throws them with solid command. Burns also has great pitching history in the SEC, which matters to a lot of scouts. 20. Milwaukee Brewers. Clayton Beeter, righty, Texas Tech. The Brewers have perhaps the worst farm system in baseball, and they need to nail this pick. Beater is a rising up draft board due to his big velocity on the fastball and great spin on the out-pitch curveball. 21, St. Louis Cardinals. Ed Howard, shortstop, Mount Carmel High School, Illinois. The Cardinals can go in a number of directions here with this selection. Here I have them snagging the talented prep shortstop in Howard, who has the ability to make all the plays necessary to stick at shortstop and stands out and can seem to cover ground effortlessly without having a plus speed tool. 22nd, Washington Nationals. J.T. Ginn, righty, Mississippi State. Ginn was someone that was drafted a few years ago but opted to go back to school. Blowing out his elbow and getting Tommy John surgery is what perhaps cost Ginn to go in the top 10. The Nationals are a team that has a history of taking players at risk, so they continue that track record here. 23, Cleveland Indians. Jared Kelly, righty, Refugio High School, Texas. The Indians get themselves a steal here with the prep Armin Kelly, who many people think can go in the top 15. Many people project Kelly to be a frontline starter and has confidence in his swing and miss changeup and displays potential with his slider. 24, Tampa Bay Rays. Nick Lofton, shortstop, Baylor. The Rays are in great shape farm system-wise, so they can go in any direction they'd like. Lofton is someone a lot of people feel will go higher than this due to his bat-to-ball skills and his ability to stay up the middle defensively. 25, Atlanta Braves. Chris McMahon, righty, Miami. The Braves are another team that's in good shape in terms of its farm system. Here I have them taking the polished righty in McMahon, who flashes an exciting three-pitch mix that all possesses above average or better qualities. 26, Oakland Athletics. Justin Foscue, second baseman, Mississippi State. The Athletics are a team that loves taking college players, and here I have them taking one with Foscue. He is somebody that has a chance to be an impact hitter, but is limited defensively. 27, Minnesota Twins. Carmen Wadzinski, righty, South Carolina. The Twins have options here, but they go with the fascinating pitching prospect in Wadzinski, who looked amazing in the Cape Cod League, but spotty versus better competition. He has shown flashes with a few good pitches in college, but this is what makes him a wild card in the draft. 28, New York Yankees. Austin Wells, catcher, outfielder, Arizona. The Yankees have been linked to college bats this draft season, and here I have them snagging a versatile one in Wells. He shows good qualities as a backstop with a big arm and great leadership, but he struggles with breaking balls and doesn't move particularly well. 29, Los Angeles Dodgers. Jordan Westburg, third baseman, shortstop, Mississippi State. The Dodgers are in excellent shape farm system-wise, so they can go in any direction they would like. Westburg is super versatile and possesses above-average power and speed with a decent shot to stick at shortstop defensively to boot. So there you have it, my latest mock draft. You'll see my fourth mock draft on Friday, the fifth one on Monday, the sixth one on Tuesday, and my final one in a week from today, which will be the day of the Major League Baseball draft. And like I said earlier, I'll come out with podcasts for each team discussing their farm systems and which ways that they should go in terms of approaching their draft. Last, I'd like to discuss my project I've been working on for a while, Madison's Bracket of Pain. I talked about it on my show yesterday and on Monday, but now I'm going to give you a sneak peek preview. So today I'm going to have on Julian Gilardi, who I've never had on my show before, who is the host of a very good podcast called G&T Sports Talk, and his co-host is Bobby Thompson, who I'm going to have on the show when I do my Bracket of Glory, as he'll help me with making cases for good moments of my sports life. And I'm going to have a couple other guests on for the Bracket of Glory. So I'm going to do 4 guests for Pain and 4 other ones for Glory. And so Julian's going to come on first in a couple hours from now. He will go over with me the Heartbreak region. And here are the matchups for the round of 64. The 1 seed, Jose Altuve walk-off home run to eliminate the Yankees and send the Astros to the World Series for the second time in 3 years against the 16 seed 2013-14 Knicks season, which was very disappointing after their 54-win season, and they have a 17-win drop-off and don't even make the playoffs in an East Conference that was very weak. The 8 versus 9 matchup is very interesting. My 8 seed is the Victor Cruz injury against the Philadelphia Eagles. Against the 9 seed, LeBron James picks South Beach. And again, I'm going over to the Heartbreak region, which is the region that Julian will analyze with me on the show today. The 5 versus 12 matchup, you have the Phil Jackson era against the Dave Gettleman era. And this matchup is the reason why I initially had Derek doing the Heartbreak region, because, funny story, when I was posting these on Twitter, he made a comment, you spelled era wrong, and I thought that was pretty funny, because he was obviously referring to the word error. I'm going to bring that up to him on the show on either tomorrow or Friday, whenever I decide to have him on, and we'll go over, I believe I chose him for the unlucky region. So the 4-13 in the Heartbreak region, Greg Bird as a New York Yankee, as a 4 seed and the 13 seed, the 2016 wild card loss versus Green Bay when the Giants had the famous boat party with all the wide receivers, and then they kind of no-show their wild card game against the Packers. Although they got off to a good, a lead early, but they just couldn't get touchdowns. They kept getting field goals, and then they collapsed in the second half after Aaron Rodgers threw a miracle of a Hail Mary. The 6-11 matchup in the Heartbreak region is your 6 seed, the 2013 Boston Red Sox win the World Series against the 11 seed. Derrick Rose goes AWOL on the 16-17 Knicks. The 3-14 matchup in the Heartbreak region is Roy Hibbert blocking Carmelo Anthony en route to Indiana, clinching the series against the Knicks to advance to the Eastern Conference Finals against the 14 seed 2011 ALDS loss against Justin Verlander and the Tigers. The 7-10 is, the 7 is Sonny Gray as a New York Yankee versus 10 seed Yankees signing Jacoby Ellsbury. And the 2-15 matchup in the Heartbreak region is the 2 seed, 1 pick away from Stephen Curry against the 15 seed, Knicks trade away Carmelo Anthony. So that's going to be the region that Julian and I will analyze, and he'll make his picks, I'll make my picks, and then I'll say what Twitter thought so as well. And then the region James will analyze with me tonight is the painful region. The 1 versus 16 here is the one is Derek Jeter breaks his ankle in the 2012 ALCS en route to getting swept by the Tigers versus the 16 seed Landon Collins drops interception en route to regular season Giants home loss against the Patriots, who were undefeated at the time, coming off Deflategate and all that crap. The 8-9 matchup here is 8 seed Jeff Hornacek era as Knicks head coach versus 9 seed 2007 Red Sox win the World Series. The 5-12. The 5 is the Eric Flowers selection, reaching for Eric Flowers in the draft in 2015 versus 12 seed Joe Girardi non-challenge in the playoff loss against the Indians, although they won that series, but that was just a painful moment for me. The 4-13 in the painful region, the 4 seed is the 2015 Eastern Conference Finals loss against the Tampa Bay Lightning versus the 13 seed 2007 ALDS loss against the Cleveland Indians. And that was the year, obviously, A-Rod opted out after that series, but ended up resigning anyway, and there's a lot of drama that year with the Yankees. The 6-11 in the painful region, 6 seed, the David Fizdale era, against a play-in matchup here between 11 seeds the Pat Shermer era with the Giants, and the 2008 Yankees missed the postseason. So the winner of that would go on to play or face up against the David Fizdale Knicks era. The 3-14 in the painful region, the 3 seed is Henrique. It's over, which was obviously Doc Emmerich's line when calling Adam Henrique's overtime winner against the New York Rangers as the Devils advanced to the finals against my beloved Rangers in 2012. Against the 14 seed 2010 ALCS loss against the Texas Rangers. The 7-10 in the painful region. The Ben McAdoo era is your 7 seed, and your 10 seed is the reaching of a draft pick for Eli Apple. And the 2-15 in the painful region, the 2 seed is the Deshaun Jackson walk-off punt return for touchdown that pretty much was the downfall of the Giants season that year. Against the 15 seed, Knicks reach for Frank Ntilikina. The region that Derek will be doing is the unlucky region, which we're probably going to do that either tomorrow or Friday. So 1 versus 16 in the unlucky region is the number 1 overall seed. Knicks lose out on Zion Williamson versus 16 seed Giants fire Tom Coughlin. This could be a competitive, quote-unquote, 1 versus 16 because I won't be shocked if Derek makes the case for the Giants letting go of Tom Coughlin because the Giants haven't had a good coach since Tom Coughlin. That's why that got on there. And that's the only firing that has made the bracket of pain, by the way. I considered firing Joe Girardi on there, but the Yankees have been good with Aaron Boone. The Giants have not been good since Tom Coughlin left, although they did have an 11-5 season, but that was, let's face it, a fluke. The 8-9 in the unlucky region was the 8 seed Derek Fisher era with the Knicks as head coach versus 9 seed Charles Oakley banned from Madison Square Garden. 5-12 in the unlucky region, the 5 seed is the 2018 Red Sox winning the World Series versus 12 seed New York Football Giants trading away Odell Beckham Jr. And I know which way Derek's going to go because he's anti-Odell. 4-13, the Jerry Reese era is your 4 seed, and the 13 seed is Alex Rodriguez drama with the Yankees, whether it's his PED suspension and all the saga surrounding it, and the drama and all the media coverage and whatnot, and that derailed the Yankees those couple years as well, in my opinion. And that's why that made the list. 6-11 in the unlucky region. The 6 seed is the Knicks trading for Andrea Bargnani. 11 seed, play-in game. Steve Kerr picks the Warriors over the Knicks versus 2009 Rangers blow a 3-1 series lead versus the Capitals. And by the way, in the painful region, the one that James is going to be doing with me later, the 116 is actually a play-in match. It's the Landon Collins dropped interception against the Giancarlo Stanton, trading for Giancarlo Stanton instead of signing either Bryce Harper or Manny Machado. So I pretty much gave away my pick for the painful region 16 seed play-in game there. Although I think I'm going to predict that James will agree with me because of that opponent that Collins dropped the interception against. And plus the Yankees are good. They would have been good whether they had Stanton, Harper, Machado. So that's why I had to go with that pick. So a little bit of a spoiler alert there. So unlucky region, 11 seed play-in game. Steve Kerr picks the Warriors over the Knicks against the 2009 Rangers blowing a 3-1 series lead against the Washington Capitals. The unlucky region 3-14 matchup, the 3 seed is Eli Manning getting benched for Geno Smith in 2017 versus the 14 seed Giants lose Linval Joseph in free agency. That I thought was underrated, and that really hurt their defense at the time. Unlucky region 7 versus 10, the 7 is Derrick Rose as a Knick versus 10 seed Robinson Cano leaves the New York Yankees. And the 2-15 in the unlucky region, 2 seed, Kevin Durant signs with the Brooklyn Nets against 15 seed Rangers get crushed by the Penguins in the 2016 Stanley Cup Playoffs first round. And last but not least, the region that Jeff Maglicetti will be analyzing with me on Friday is the What If region. The 116 in there is the 1 seed KP Kristaps Porzingis tearing his ACL against the 16 seed play-in game between the Jason Pierre-Paul trade, in which the Giants traded away Jason Pierre-Paul to Tampa, against its play-in matchup, Rick Nash playoff disappearances for the New York Rangers. The 8-9 in the What If region, the 8 seed, the 2017 disastrous New York Giants season. After going 11-5, that was the season where McAdoo and Reese got fired. Eli got back. That season was just a disaster. And the 9 seed, Dylan Betances gives up walk-off grand slam to Hanley Ramirez in Fenway, in which essentially ended any hope the Yankees had in their surprising 2016 run. And it's funny because Evan Roberts picked the Mets version of that game from last year, which was where they blew the huge game against the Nationals and what pretty much was the nail in the coffin for them. Although in defense, the Yankees did not recover from that Betances game. The Mets bounced back the next day and won that Nationals game. But I'm convinced that that Nationals game was the nail in the coffin for the Mets. Like, that loss is unrecoverable, and that loss does deserve to be in Evan Roberts' worst Met loss over the last 25 years bracket. And that Betances game is very reminiscent of that Mets game, although that Mets game was 3 years later. But yeah, that was just a bad loss for the Yankees in 2016, giving up that walk-off grand slam to Hanley Ramirez. And that pretty much propelled the Red Sox to win the American League East that year as well. So that's another reason why that made the list. The 5-12 in the What If region, the 5 seed is the 2017 second-round loss against the Ottawa Senators. The 12 seed is Alex Rodriguez playoff woes. All those years he struggled in the postseason, with the exception of 2009. The 4-13 in the What If region, the 4 seed is the Plaxico Burress gunshot, which pretty much cost any chance the Giants had at repeating as Super Bowl champions after the Super Bowl 42 upset, versus the 13 seed Eagles win Super Bowl 51, and that was, or 52, in which the Eagles broke their curse and finally got over the hump. The 6-11 in the What If region, the 6 seed is the 16-1 playoff defeat in the 2018 ALDS against the Red Sox. That was Game 3, disaster for the Yankees. That pretty much send the message of the Red Sox, this is their year, and then the Yankees are saying, pretty much the nail in the coffin for the Yankees. Although the next game they nearly won and forced a Game 5, but they didn't. The 11 seed 2017 ALCS loss against the cheating Houston Astros. The 3-14 in the What If region, the 3 seed is the 2014 Stanley Cup Finals loss against the Los Angeles Kings, versus the 14 seed Knicks lose Jeremy Lin in free agency to the Rockets. The 7-10 in the What If region, the 7 seed is Aaron Judge's injuries post 2017 rookie year, versus 10 seed New York Knicks signed Joakim Noah in 2016. And last but not least, the 2-15 in the What If region, the 2 seed Knicks trade away Kristaps Porzingis, versus the 15 seed, the drafting of Daniel Jones at the time. Because boy, did I flip out on this podcast the next day. Although I'm looking wrong and wrong by the day, and I'm glad I'm probably wrong about Daniel Jones. But that was a painful moment for me at the time. And that's what pretty much the Bracket of Pain is about. All right, I'll be back in about an hour and a half with Julian as we analyze the heartbreak region. And then James later on tonight for the painful region. And then tomorrow I'll be doing recapping the latest coronavirus-related sports news, KBO, previewing the season finale of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. We'll preview tomorrow night's episode of Celebrity Watch Party, my 2015 top 10 NBA players and games. And then on Thursday night, we'll do a couple MLB draft-related podcasts for every team, which I discussed before. Hope you guys have a great day, everyone.